Ayo, Ashley Monet here, and welcome to video 2 of my Inktober 2023 series. We'll be covering days 7 through 12 in this one. Woohoo! No clue why I'm doing this. Let's jump right in and see what I can ink. So we're picking up on day 7, for which the prompt word was drip. And friendly reminder, I'm having all of my drawings adhere to a spooky horror or Halloween theme for the whole of Inktober. For drip, I thought of the Snow White poison apple and how it has the drippy looking, I guess, poison that's like in the shape of a skull. So let me start with the poison and get it nice and shaded. Now to give a good contrast, I want to make the apple itself solid black. And heck, let's give it even more drips. I'm taking this prompt very seriously. Drips on drips. A little more shading to finish it off. Let's do the day's label. Day 7, drip. And here it is, sweet and simple and deadly. On to day 8, the prompt word was toad. I debated drawing a realistic toad because they're kind of creepy on their own, how they look. But I want to keep these drawings simple. Plus, I thought this was a really good opportunity to do something a little bit more on the cutesy side. Yes, believe it or not, I also like to draw cutesy things, not just creepy things. So let's make a little toad witch cartoon. Sitting in front of a bubbling cauldron, our toad is perched atop a toadstool. I know, super creative, right? And she's wearing a cute little witchy hat. Let's start in with our shading. Solid black, and then on to some hatching. Our little toady needs some texture. All those little bumps and warts. Add a little patch of grass around the toadstool. And let's thicken up some of these outlines. It's juicy highlight time. And finally, the day's label. Day 8, toad. I've decided this little lady needs a name. After much deliberation, I settled on Mildred Von Croak. She fancy. Okay, day 9. Prompt word is bounce. Can't lie, I did not love this prompt. I felt forced to do some kind of a ball, and the only remotely creepy ball I could think of was an eyeball. Highly doubt those have much bounce to them, but for the sake of the prompt, today they do. Gotta give them some nice shading, lots of little blood vessels, some details in the iris. The day's label, day 9, bounce, and a couple of teeny tiny highlights. And there we are. It's nothing special, but hey, I drew something today, and that is the whole point of this challenge, right? Moving on to day 10, the prompt word was fortune. I did consider some sort of crystal ball fortune-telling situation here, but eventually the idea of a very unlucky fortune cookie, that won me over. I mean, imagine excitedly cracking open a fortune cookie, only to read these haunting words. A long life is not in your future. Tell me you wouldn't be looking over your shoulder all day. Now for a little shading and some stipple texture to make it look like a cookie. Label time. Day 10, fortune. I really like this one, even with its simplicity. I can't help but think it would make a great tattoo. But I digress. On to day 11. The prompt word for the day was wander. I decided to draw up one of those wooden signs that you might find if you're wandering in the middle of some spooky woods, where there's like a plank for a destination and the plank points in the direction that you need to travel to get there. For the destinations, I decided to choose a bunch of magical fantasy locations that I might want to wander to based off of some of my favorite movies and books. We've got Narnia, Wonderland, the Shire, Oz, Neverland, Terabithia, the Magic Kingdom, and of course my favorite, Hogwarts. That's where I'd be going. All right, just adding some depth with some shadows for the planks. And gotta get that wood grain texture on there too. And finishing with the label. Day 11, wander. And with that, we are down one more day. Next day is 12, which is the last I'll include in this video. The prompt word was spicy, spelled incorrectly. With the current season in mind, there is but one spice that reigns supreme, and that, of course, is pumpkin spice. Yes, I love me some pumpkin spice. Call me basic if you want, that is okay. If the cost of enjoying a good old pumpkin spice latte is being made fun of, well, I happily accept. It's worth it. So here I've drawn my ideal pumpkin spice latte, topped with a heap of whipped cream, set atop a bed of autumn leaves that are sprinkled with some loose coffee beans. So aesthetic. Let's add a little cinnamon sprinkle to the top. I tried to draw one of those little corrugated cardboard coffee sleeves, but my lines ended up all wonky, so let's just ignore it and pretend that didn't happen. Finish off these leaves. Don't know why I saved that outline for last, but that just leaves our label. Day 12, spicy. Also spelled wrong. I didn't want to confuse anyone, okay? Couple of juicy highlights. And voila, finito. We conclude day 12 and this video. Be sure to come back next week for the next 6 days of Inktober. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.